Well, Liverpool would pick the perfect time to start dropping points after they've already won the Premier League. This is Red Card Radio. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're listening from. Thanks for tuning in. Red Card Radio is a weekly look at the Premier League from three friends who support different clubs. My name is James. I support Arsenal. That guy up top is Brad. He supports Chelsea. Down below is Sean. He supports Tottenham. And boys, what a weekend it was. There was football on all over the place, and I was on a river in West Virginia, not watching football. I was in the woods, as they call it. But doesn't mean we don't have high-hitting commentary for you on the Premier League. But if you're new here, if you just stumbled across, hit that subscribe button, ring the sub-notification bell, drop a comment on the video. If you are on one of the podcast sites, first, thank you for clicking on it. If you could hit that share button, like, subscribe, whatever the platform so allows. And yeah, those things help us out tremendously. Listen to the end of the video. They're not super long. We hope to be in and out in about 10, 12 minutes. So, enough time to, whet the appetite and get you on your way. So if you could do those things, really appreciate it. But Brad,
yes,
what's up with this result? Taking 3 points off of Liverpool. What happened there?
What you mean, bro? I think so. So honest opinion or Chelsea's the greatest team ever opinion. Which one do we want here?
I thought those were the same thing to you.
Sure, we'll go with that. I think Liverpool came sloshed and didn't care, and it showed. And we banged the goals, like we finished our chances.
Like, yeah, it's going to be funny because we are going to preview Liverpool and Arsenal in our preview this week. Later, you'll get that episode on Friday, and I think that Liverpool are going to come out hot to beat Arsenal, whereas they didn't care. They didn't care about Chelsea, and so they rock up. They're just like, whatever, it doesn't matter. We already won. We got our guard of honor. But I think that they're going to rock up against Arsenal and want to beat Arsenal.
I think they were sure, we don't care, but losing 3-1, I think probably
it might have annoyed them, but they probably don't care.
I think it adds to the spice.
What's up with Cole Palmer? Apparently, I've been seeing Cole Palmer is back.
Cole Palmer is back, bro. 23 goals and assists on the season. Finally stops the goal drought. And then goes off on the internet trolls.
How long had it been for him?
18 games. January.
Jeez, that's a
that's a hell of a drought.
Was he playing or was he injured?
He was playing and he was creating chances.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But that's quite a star boy.
Yeah,
that is quite a star boy. He still had 23 goals and assists.
Yeah,
on the season. Right? Like he let everybody else catch up. That's what it was.
It's a good season.
Well, too bad he isn't a shooting star, am I right?
Yeah, exactly. Imploding, something like that. I would ask you, Sean, what happened at the London Stadium, but I think more interestingly, we should think about what happened at Leicester between Southampton and Leicester.
Yeah. Sean Stradamus correctly picked that game.
So did James, by the way.
Yeah,
so I think Brad, we were by the way.
I think. Oh, all right. So we were the only smart ones out here.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah. Are you talking about the ref keeling over and Jamie Vardy coming to the rescue?
Yeah,
bro, that was my favorite part in terms of like the shithousery that Jamie Vardy is. I need a team to pick him up.
You know what? It's shithousery shrouded in a veil of I was trying to help, which he has a legitimate claim to saying he was trying to stop the game to help the ref. But also, he's also just blowing the ref for funsies.
Yeah.
Blowing the whistle for funsies.
I guess what would happen? Do the linesmen have the ability to stop the game? I would imagine they have to, right? Or the fourth official?
That's who I would probably guess to be the fourth official.
But none of them are on the field, right? So I would assume that one of them have the ability to stop the game. So, yeah, that was a weird situation, a very, very strange situation. But kind of more impactful on this game is that Southampton have a really high likelihood that they are going to finish with the same number of points as Derby now. This was kind of their their last really good chance. They do have Everton in not this weekend, but the weekend after. But their 3 remaining games after this are City, Everton, and Arsenal. And they're going to rock up on the last day of the season, and Arsenal are going to need 3 points to finish in the top 5 or something like that. And and they're gonna hold 8 against Arsenal.
Why did you take that joke from me in that now that it's actually a serious game? Because before he was like, oh, Arsenal are finishing second, but now Arsenal keep slipping. That now you guys actually do have to beat Southampton on the last day.
Yeah, we might have to. It's entirely possible. Or Arsenal want to finish second, and we'll see. But we'll get to the top 5 permutations here in just a second. But do you guys see Southampton picking up a single point in any of those games?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
They're going to try their absolute hardest in these games, but I still don't see it happening. This was their chance, and they blew it.
Watch them beat City at the weekend or something like that, and we'll just.
How crazy would that be?
So speaking of the top 5, so if we look, City won, Newcastle did not win, Arsenal did not win, and Chelsea did win. Villa also won to kind of keep their very, very slim hopes alive. But it was a good weekend for Chelsea, obviously. Good weekend for City. Arsenal should have beaten Bournemouth. I don't know if you guys caught any or part of that game. I have caught
none of it.
I have caught part of it after the fact, and Arsenal should have scored 3 or 4 goals in the first half. Should have scored 2 or 3 in the second half before Bournemouth scored. So it's the tale of Arsenal's inability to score goals in the Premier League. And then they get beat on a long throw at a corner. So it's very it's very funny.
That may or may not have went off an elbow.
Yeah, so I did see the conversation about that. It probably did come off the elbow, but I guess the idea is that VAR didn't have a great angle on.
I saw both of the angles. It was really, really hard to tell conclusively if that was an elbow or not.
The angle I think that they had behind the goal was blocked by a post a little bit, but then the angle they had from high up was too far away to see anything definitively. I think after the game, there was a better angle from inside the goal that people could see where it very clearly comes off his elbow. But at the same time, Martin Odegaard is just wrestling him. So
that's true. It could have been a penalty anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, you got to score goals. You can't. Those things happen to you in the season. Those types of goals happen to you throughout the season. You just need to score more goals. And it doesn't help that our center forwards are injured, and the person who's getting all of our best looks is Declan Rice, who is getting better at finishing, but still a defensive midfielder. So we'll see. But I think there is a legitimate concern here that Arsenal don't finish second. I think it's a very real possibility. Arsenal have Liverpool, then Newcastle, then Southampton. If they lose both against Liverpool and Newcastle, which Newcastle have beaten Arsenal 3 times already this year. Arsenal and Liverpool played a draw, which Arsenal should have won. They were robbed a goal by Anthony Taylor on a phantom push by Kai Havertz. And I will take that to the grave. But there's a really real possibility that Arsenal slip out of second. Now, when we win the Champions League, it's not going to matter,
That's true.
But
yeah. Because when this comes out, you guys can actually be watching that game.
Yes.
As you guys are listening to us instead of the commentary. Oh wait, that person just scored a goal.
Yeah, it was an Arsenal
awesome
player.
Goal.
It was an Arsenal player. Obviously, this is being recorded before Wednesday when you guys are hearing this. So, spoiler alert. James is still bullish on Arsenal's chances. And I'll still be bullish on Friday's episode too. And there's a little
I wonder how that's going. Wow.
A little bit behind the curtain for you.
Well, 2 other London clubs are going to be closing out closing out semifinals as well this week.
True.
Yes. Yes.
Brad, can you
One of
pronounce
us-
can you pronounce the team that you guys are playing against? Can you pronounce the team?
I gotta hold on. Let me see it, and I might.
He will
I'm gonna
not be
try.
able. He will not be
Well,
able
I'm gonna
to.
try.
While he looks it up, I can very easily name ours. It is Bodo Glimt.
Yeah, and it looks like you'll get United in the final. So tasty, spicy, all English final.
Fun story. I made
Well, one more time, Brad.
Deer Garden.
All right, Deer Garden.
Garden.
Deer Garden.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Garden.
I think you merged the D and G. I think it's a jur.
Yeah,
Jur Gardens. I wasn't
Garden.
far off. Let's be real. And all the things I could have said,
true.
I wasn't that far off.
But fun story. I made fun of Arsenal for going to Bodo Glimt in one of their putrid Euro games. And so
Did they lose?
the joke, I'm not sure, but the joke has now come full circle on me. And funny enough, I used the term circle because I made fun of James because it is north of the Arctic Circle. So we are going north of the Arctic Circle to play a football game on Thursday.
Arsenal beat them twice in the span of a week in the Europa League in 2022. Yes, but the thing about it, we are going north of the Arctic Circle in spring, whereas we went north of the Arctic Circle in fall, and it was very much winter. It was very much winter in the Arctic Circle when we were there. So at least it'll probably be really pleasant. I bet it would be beautiful this time of year.
I guess we're all still bullish. So I
Yeah.
realize between now, this is the Wednesday, so Chelsea is winning the game, and then on Friday I'm gonna talk about how Chelsea won the game.
Oh, you're going to talk about? Okay, we'll see. Well, speaking of that, you'll have to check back with us on Friday for our preview of round 36 in the Premier League. That's all we got for this episode for you. Let us know in the comments what you think. Will Arsenal slip out of the? Will they slip out of second? Where will Arsenal finish? I'd love to hear from you where you think Arsenal will finish this season. And do you think that's a failure? Would that constitute a failure for Arteta? I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Hit us up on social media. That guy up top is at KSBradG. Down below is Whiteheart_Sean. I just realized for the entire episode that has not been visible on the screen. It is now. I am at James Tiffany. Collectively, we are at redcard_radio. We can't wait to hear from you. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you back on Friday. Thanks so much.